No, I'm not jacking it up and turning it into a 4x4. Sorry, everybody. Well, no, I'm not jacking it up. So we're getting ready for the Silver State Classic, and that's why the car is up on jack stands. For anybody who doesn't know, the Silver State Classic is the world's fastest road race. That's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the last 30 years. The average speed, I think, is like 217 miles an hour. So it's a 90-mile race on Highway 318 out of Ely, Nevada, heading south towards Vegas on 318. The race, basically, it's a timed event, so you pick your speed. You have to start off in the lower classes, which is called the touring group. You're maxed out 124 miles an hour, and then you pick whether it's 95, 100, 105, whatever, and move up from there. So I'm now in the Grand Touring group since I did it in May with Dave and his Type 65. So now we're up into the Grand Touring, so we're going to max out at 140. We're going to shoot for an average speed of 120. So our whole goal is to average 120 miles an hour over 90 miles. But there's some sections you're going to drop down to 100, and then you got to open it up to 140. I'm staying in that lower group right now because I want to probe the limit of the car and see if at 140, what does it feel like? I don't know. But done 121 in the quarter, it felt fine. But we'll see. So it's going to be a fun event. I'm going to document the whole thing, throw it up on the channel, and go from there. So I've got the car totally prepped. I've done all I could do to prep this thing. That's why it's up on blocks. I've been underneath it multiple times. I found two issues. One, there's a set screw on the power steering, which I'm going to show you, was a little loose, and I was getting just a little bit of wiggle in one of the joints. Fix that. And then the other one is I'm using the Boyd cool tube, radiator cool tubes. One of them was actually sitting on the chassis. It was wearing the aluminum, just shining it up a little bit. So I wrapped a little bit of rubber around that. Other than that, it's good to go. I do have a little pinion seal leak in the rear diff. I thought about pulling it apart, but man, it's got that crushed sleeve in there, so I didn't really want to mess with it. So I'll come and bring an extra quart of gear oil. We'll check when we get up there. 600 miles to get there, and then you're talking probably 200 and 250 miles to do the race, because it's 90 miles and you got to drive this big loop around. So at that point, what we'll do is check it again before I head home. So it's going to be about 1,600 miles of driving. It's going to be quite a bit. But the car is pretty good. I'll show you next where the steering joint was, just so you guys get an idea of what's going on here. But other than that, it's ready to go. So it's going to be a lot of miles. The car's a 6,500 already. By the time I get back, I should be over 8,000 miles on this thing. So I'm getting my money's worth. My goal in this car is to wear it out, so I have to rebuild it. That's my intent. So let me show you the steering issue. So here's the steering. So you can see this back. Hold on here. I'm trying to hold a flashlight because it's just too dark in here, and the camera at the same time. So you can see this joint right here that comes off the steering shaft of the column. There's a set screw back into here, and I'll show you that. So you can see that set screw, that was loose. So I was getting just a little bit of wiggle in this thing, you know, kind of up and down. Pulled it out, a little more Loctite in there, and now we're good. The other issue is down into here. So you can see here, see the radiator tube comes out of the radiator and it goes back underneath between the chassis tubes. It was rubbing a little bit on the chassis. Not enough to where it was really tearing the aluminum apart, but it was getting shiny. So you can see over there with the zip tie, I put a little bit of rubber underneath that thing, so that should keep that thing from wearing through, even though I don't think it was anywhere near wearing through. Other than that, this thing is ready to go. Everything's been checked, every bolt's been looked at, so I think we're pretty good. So I think that's it. I think we're prepped, ready to go. I gotta pick up some food. We're gonna make sure that we're gassed up, and then Thursday morning, this thing is on the road for 600 miles to Ely, Nevada. I said it's called Silver State Classic Challenge. I'll throw a little link up there so you guys can find it and go check it out. But thanks for watching. And I said this is gonna be a full episode. We're gonna show some of the drive getting there. We're gonna show in-car camera, the car, you know, doing the race. I don't know if I'm going to actually do the half and 1 mile drag races up there as well. I don't know if I'm going to do that just because I don't want to torture the car more than necessary, because this thing's got to make it there, make it back, or I'm in a world of hurt. Way out of AAA towing range. So thanks for watching, and wish me the best. Thanks.